Hi. So we are at the 2-week mark. It has officially been a full 2 weeks since, well, it's probably a little later than I was coming to, but it was probably around this time of night that I was starting to come to in a recovery bed and realizing the extent of everything. And I remember I included in the first video, but there is a first video of me snapped in that recovery bed. I don't even know how I had the mind to grab my phone, operate that, and actually get myself in full frame, but it is wild looking back at a picture like that, and in such a short time I've gone from as disfigured as I appeared at that point to where I am at now. And yeah, we're really getting into the back stages of this initial recovery. Like I said, we've been through pain management, been through a lot of different tightness in the face, discomfort. I've talked about the numbness, and now sort of in little spurts, we're almost dealing with the itching feeling, the that healing itch, except it's so spread out, and I can't really tell you how maddening it can be when some of these itches start to show up under numb areas. Like if I start getting itchy here, I'll go to scratch it and it's like I can't feel, it's like the itch is underneath. It's the strangest thing, and it's not maddening, it's not anything like super, but it is really strange, and there's really no way to address it. You kind of just gotta let it take its course. It's just another one of those like weird things as the body heals itself, getting that itching phase, except I feel like normally it would be like more on the surface, but like this time it's kind of like a internal itching, and it's really strange. But that's sort of what I'm dealing now with. Numbness is about the same at this point. Like I think at this point, kind of this top left side of my nose is starting to get some feeling back. Maybe there's a little more spread to like here, more like, only this part of my eyebrow is kind of numb in here. So it's like I feel like we're starting to spread this way across, and the nose is starting to work its way down that way. The septum along the side, which it makes sense since the hump along the side was shaven down. The septum seems to be the part that's the most numb, so I feel like it's going to be like from the outside and then work its way back in. But everything seems to be going really well. I washed my hair again. I think it's going to take another go to get all of the gunks out of it, but I feel like a lot of the sky, like at this point, there's really only this one little ring here, but like mostly everything, like I can barely even see the incision line that's basically was like a W underneath my nose. Down here, still some hair, since I can't go over it, there's some lumping, but like it's really hidden underneath. I'm really happy with how some of the scarring, or I keep saying scarring, I should be saying how the incision lines are coming out. It seems like they won't be scarring, not in any sort of significant way. The inner mouth stitching seems to be dissolving more and more. I feel like there's still a good portion of it, but that's continuing to loosen up, so things are coming along. And I have a feeling as we go week 2 into week 3, it's just going to be that much more dramatic with some of those finer changes. So I will continue to monitor that, and I'll keep you all posted. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Someone goes, "It's trollocs, it's trollocs."
Yeah, and I love the reaction.
Hi, it is day 17. I'm starting to lose track. This is the point when it's nice because I start having to count in my head and it's been long enough that that's not as easy to do. I feel like those early days, you're really counting each day individually. You're like, know exactly where you are. But like at this point, we're getting into the long stretches. So I'm officially in week 3, heading towards, I'm at about 2.5 weeks, but this is technically week 3. Yeah. I feel like you can just see like the small improvements every day. I think at this point, I'm going to roll back, maybe not doing daily updates and maybe do every few days, just because I think that kind of presents like a little bit more of a difference. But yeah, like everything feels pretty similar. I feel like I've noticed a little bit more mobility in my face. Like the numbness seems about the same. Maybe that's like changed a little bit, but I feel like I can kind of move my mouth in different ways that like I was kind of more like unable to. It's really strange with these. Like I've said in other videos, this is the point where we're hitting more nuanced changes and little things that aren't going to be quite as visible, like the difference between day 2 and like day 7. Like those were huge changes. I keep looking back at those videos and it gets more and more astonishing to see the differences. But what I really kind of wanted to reflect on, having passed the 2-week point is, I think I talked even in week 1 about support systems, family, friends, loved ones, all of that. But I also wanted to mention that like the important thing is the support system that you have in your medical team. I can't tell you how important it is for this type of procedure, for any type of procedure where you're putting your life in the hands of your medical team, that you feel like you trust them, that they make you feel safe, that they make you feel heard, and you are able to advocate for yourself and converse with them. This was the first time I had gone under anesthesia, the first major procedure I'd had, so maybe this is just, a one-off view of like how things are. Maybe this is how things are across the board, but I like to think that my team was exceptional, because I feel like there was no point during this process where I did not feel cared for. I did not feel like I was being looked out for. At no point that I felt unsafe. And I can't tell you how much that helped the process, feeling like I was in good hands, because I think I can honestly say that when it came time for recovery, I don't think I've ever felt that vulnerable and that sort of unable to help myself. And in addition to my surgical team that just knocked everything out, Dr. Alperovich and all the folks at Yale School of Medicine, just all of the staff that took care of me in recovery was so sweet and took such good care of me. Like I feel like there were so many times just thinking back on it in the recovery weeks that I would just start tearing up thinking about it, because I so appreciated what they did for me and how they made me feel. And I can't imagine an experience like this where I felt like that, and to have a neglectful staff. I mean, I hope no one goes through anything like that. I hope everybody has the experience that I had, but it was just amazing. And yeah, every step of the way in pre-op was all very much taken care. Like at no time was I left in the dark about anything. I was, comforted by Dr. Alperovich and the other folks on the surgical team. I was also at the same time very well informed by them and didn't feel like anything was being obfuscated or that I was being, misled on the realistic expectations of what I was going through. And then down to that real leap of faith, like when I went under for the first time, I've never felt so safe. Like, just everyone around me, like it was like having just like a group of people gathered around me, just feel like, you're gonna do great. Like, we're gonna take such good care. Dr. Alperovich, he was like holding and squeezing my hand. Like, it was so sweet. And it was just such a peaceful way to transition under anesthesia. I couldn't have asked for something better. It was such a, if it wasn't, it's such a, the recovery that I would be going through eventually, like, honestly, like, that was such a blissful experience. I have no notes, no complaints on that whatsoever. They really knocked it out. They specialize in doing this, and they specialize in patient care, and it shows. And I would recommend anyone who's looking for similar facial feminization procedures and they live in New England area where you can get over to New Haven area in Connecticut, if that's not too far. For me, it was like an hour and a half, so that's like a little bit of a hike. Coming home was an interesting thing on the next day. But I think traveling a little bit to go with someone who specializes the way Dr. Alperovich does, or to find someone in your area who does that, like, not settling for just the closest person, or that, like, really doing your research and finding a care team and a surgical team that both specializes in and can cater to what you need is paramount. So I would recommend everybody do that research, do all the things to put themselves in the best position to have this cared for and streamlined recovery, because I truly believe that going into a major procedure like this with that feeling of safety, with that feeling of confidence in the people who are taking care of you, is going to affect the outcome. And I would not change a thing about this. There's not even a thought of my, like, I am so self-assured in the decision that I made. I'm so happy that I went with them. And yeah, I can't say enough about it. The team at Yale New Haven Hospital, you are awesome. You are amazing. You made me feel amazing and cared for and safe. Thank you so much. I feel like I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to cap this off, but that's just something that I feel like is so important, and I will be carrying forward in my own advocacy to others, as well as future procedures I may go through. So I will continue to keep people posted on how I improve, maybe check in closer to the 3-week mark, but this is it for today. So thank you, and I will talk to you all soon.